he'd like either, right? Again, we have the substitution, and it says either. So, and then here is the question for you. We have the word either, right? And it's referring to two things, two grammatical units, two noun phrases. And I want you to like find out this. And here is the question. To what kind of like grammatical unit does it refer to? Do you know? Either. Like when we just translate it, it's gonna be ma uylaymanku ikkalasini ham afzal ko'radi, right? So either here is referring to which grammatical unit? What do you think?
Addition to remarks.
What?
Addition to remarks.
Addition to remark? No. No, like what? Referring to the cart with a clown. This is the first thing he's referring to. And second? Yeah, the one with monkey. We're not saying, I think he'd like the cart with a clown and the cart with a monkey. Instead of repeating these two words, we're saying either. Do you understand now? And here's the second example. Second example on the right side says, does he have a lot of friends at work? And the answer is no, not one. As you can see here, one is the referencing, which means she doesn't have any friends. We're not saying, like, we're not repeating the word friends again. Instead, we're saying one. One can be a substitute for the word a friend here. And that was all for task 1. And here we have some examples and like explanation for referencing in task 2. So referencing basically is just the same in both task 1 and task 2, but when it comes to task 2, so we have more variables. So the first example for referencing in task 2 is again the pronouns, but this time pronouns play a crucial role. So here we have the example, and the example says, family members find that they can talk about their problems more easily than usual employees, which makes them better at solving problems. So here we have they, their, and them, like subject pronoun, possessive adjective, and object pronoun here, and they are all referring to which word? Yes, family members, right? And the second way of referring in task 2 is using demonstrative pronouns. These and these. How? It says these and these refer to a complete idea or sentence. So far we talked about the referencing, so types of referencing, which refer to only noun or noun phrase, right? Noun phrase cannot be a complete idea. They actually signify something, but not really an idea, right? But here we're given this and this refers to a complete idea or sentence. Instead of repeating the same like sentence, you can just say this or this. So here we have given the sentence. So sentence says, family members often talk to each other. This helps them to solve problems more quickly. So here we are given demonstrative pronoun, right? This. And as you can see that instead of like repeating the first sentence again, we're just saying this. And next is about, again, these and these, but this time it's somehow like different. We're just adding summarizing noun. What do I mean by like summarizing noun is like this and this should come together with some kind of like noun that can like conclude or give the whole meaning to the like above mentioned sentence. So look at the example and you'll just understand it better. Example says, family members often talk to each other. Again, the same sentence, again, the same example. And you can see that first we said this helps them to solve problems more quickly, right? And we have given some like dots. And the answer says this communication. So the first sentence says they communicate, they talk to each other. Talking is one form of communication, right? instead of saying just this, we're just adding the word communication, summarizing noun, because the only word can stand for the whole sentence, can signify for the whole sentence. That's why we're saying this communication. And here we have given some examples again. As you can see in the first sentence, it says many more companies today are employing family members, which means this is happening these days, right? Which means this is a trend. That's why in the second sentence we're saying this trend is due to the relatively low cost of setting up a family business. Okay? And the next example says family-run businesses often react quickly to the market or adapt their structure to accommodate change. So until here, in the first part of the sentence, so we're just talking about two quality of family-run businesses. Family-run business means like the business in which you actually employ only your relatives, like households. So one of those like qualities of family-run businesses is reacting quickly and adapting their structures. And we're not just again like repeating these two words again, two units again. Instead, we're saying these qualities are fundamental to the success of a business. So these are the characteristics or like qualities of family-run businesses. That's why I'm saying these qualities. And next is about it. So we know it is what is it, right? It is a pronoun, but sometimes it says it as a subject or object pronoun. We know it, right? The simplest example here is table is too big for the room and it's ugly, so we need to sell it, right? So first it's given as a subject pronoun and then the object. And what do you think? What are they referring to? Table, yeah. And next one is again about it, but this time it does not refer to a noun. It actually refers to the gerund phrase. We know what the gerund phrase is, right? The verb plus ing, we talked about it, right? Here we have given the example. Example says, working productively with family has positives, but it also has negatives. As you can see here, it is referring to the whole gerund phrase. And next is again about it, but it says it versus this. We talked about these and this, right? We said these and this actually refers to the complete idea or sentence, but sometimes students confuse it. Instead of using these and this in a sentence, they usually use it, but we can't do it because, as we said, that it actually refers to the gerund phrase. And next is also again about it. It says it as an empty or dummy subject. What do I mean? So sometimes we make up sentences, right? As we translate like word by word, sometimes some grammatical unit does not signify anything. So here is the example. When we say it's raining outside, right? We just translate it into Uzbek like yomg'ir yog'yapti, right? Yomg'ir yog'yapti. Raining, raining, yomg'ir yog'moq, right? But we don't necessarily like translate it into Uzbek, right? It doesn't mean anything in Uzbek. We can't translate it, and we also don't know that why we are using it right here. But we know that it should be used, so that's why we use. But we don't really know. So this is the rule in English, right? So this is where it becomes empty. That's why it says it becomes empty or dummy subject, which means it's here. It actually, how can I say, participate in the sentence, but we don't really know why we are using, but it should be used. So here we have given two sentences. The first sentence says, working productively with people that you also live with is difficult, right? And the second example has the same meaning, but it says, it's difficult to work productively with those that you also live with. And now I want you to compare these two sentences with each other. And I want you to tell me which of these sentences is more advanced, more complex. Second, why? Because we're using it, right? Look at the first one. Sometimes some students actually struggle to make up those kind of sentences. Look at it. Look at the first one. And the second one as well. And you need to tell me which of these sentences is actually more complex. Muqaddam, any ideas? Yeah?
Working product not with people that you also live with.
What?
Working product
Uh-huh.
with people that you also live with is difficult. It is difficult to use one.
It is difficult, right? Which means the first one is complex. So yeah, we tend to have this kind of like misconception. So we think that the first one seems a bit difficult, right? Because we're just making up sentences with a lot of words. But actually, in terms of like grammatical point of view, the first one actually deserves 5.0. The second one deserves more than 6. In terms of grammatical range and accuracy. I'm not talking about coherence and cohesion. Because here, as you can see, that in the first one, the words like working productively with people that you also live with. Until here, we have the subject. This grammatical unit itself alone is a subject, and is difficult is a predicate. So in this sentence, we have only one subject and predicate, which means it's not a complex structure, right? It seems complex, but it's not really a complex structure. This is the simplest structure because in the simple sentence structure, we have one subject and one predicate, right? And look at the second one. Second one says it's difficult to work, right? Until here, we have one subject and one predicate, one word. And the remaining sentence, part of the sentence has itself another subject and predicate, which means even in terms of grammatical range and accuracy, second sentence deserves more score. And next, and I guess this is the last one. So it's about former and latter, right? So most of the students know its meaning and translation, right? How is it translated, former and latter? Yes, first and second, right? Birinci, ikinci, right? And here, explanation says, former directs us to the first of the two things, and the latter directs us to the second or the last of them. Sometimes we mention two things, right? Usually nouns. Sometimes usually nouns, right? Instead of repeating again the same thing, usually a noun, when we're talking about the first one, we can say former, and whenever we're talking about the second or the last one, we can say latter, right? And here we have given the example. Example says, Francis likes both swimming and hiking, but he prefers the former, which means he prefers swimming, right? Yeah, that's all. And I guess you understood most of the information, I hope. And here's one thing I should mention. So whenever you're using coherence and cohesion, that's where you're getting more than 7 in terms of coherence and cohesion. Because referencing means you're using or you're just showing your language skills. But here's one thing I need to mention, or I need to warn you. You're using the referencing, but you're just making mistakes. You're just referring to like a wrong noun, maybe a wrong grammatical unit. That's where you get 6.0, okay? So never get confused when you are using referencing, and try to use it as much as possible, especially in task 1. That's where you get, or that's where you show all of your language skills. That's all. Thank you so much.